This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Alright, let's spend our karma. Like I said, luckily you can just do this at any time, so... Alright, let's choose the gang one. Oh, wait, did I... No, I didn't save. Whoops, I thought I saved it. Try that again. Alright, one more time. Gang, confirm, confirm. Yeah, I exited by accident, so... Alright, now let's talk to them. That's far enough, guy. The woman hefts her weapon, tossing a nod towards the gangers behind her. This lot's our turf. If you're looking for a fix, you're welcome to trade. But if you're here for business, clear the hell out. You try and wander around on our turf, and we're gonna have to air you out. So what say you? You looking for a little pick-me-up, a little nitro to give you some pep? Maybe you want some chips? Take the edge off? You want it? I got it. What happened? What happened in the fight? What happened in the fight here? As far as I know, some police showed up looking for somebody. They got in here, all of them got killed. Whoever they were after was long gone by the time we showed up. Used to be in a lot of Whampoan living here. They all cleared out, muttering about ghosts and shit like that. Have you ever heard anything else about the murders? Nothing much I can tell you, though. I've got a guy named Kang, and he was down in the storm drain system last week. Something about moving down there, big tube, man size, but it wasn't speaking any language Kang understood. Kid beat feet back to here as fast as he could. Dumbass dropped his storm drain key out of the way and out, though. You want to go looking for whatever it was, you'll have to get a new key from somebody else. Kang stole his from a city worker. Who else might have a key to the storm drains? There's a guy named Porter Lamb who's got keys to pretty much everything. He's somewhere in between cop and a handyman. UN also mentioned some elf woman with crazy colored hair who manages to scam a key. He said she hunted paracritters down there, devil rats and shit. So yeah, you can go talk to Rainbow or Porter Lamb to try and get that key. And then I'll show you what they have. She has drugs. So Nitro, Toko, Kamikaze, Bliss, and Jazz. You can also straight up attack them if you want to just get past this part and go in there. It was one that can be a bit of a challenge just because of where you're placed at and how the battle starts, but nothing. It's more interesting than super dangerous. Can I have a look around the garage? Man, you deaf? What the hell did I tell you? No, you goddamn well can't wander around down on our turf. The ganger shakes her head, mumbling something about idiots with no memory. So you can either... Oh, no, it's Socialite and Gang, though. For some reason, I thought it was Strength 5. I must be thinking of another mission. But anyway, if you have Socialite or Gang, you can get Convince her. So if you have Socialite, you can say, do you know who Kindly Chang is? I work for her. She could do you some favors in the future. Or, with Gang, you can say, I'm on business for the Whampoan Elders. You're only here because they tolerate you. They hear you're blocking me, and your ass is going to get kicked all the way to the Suen Wan. The ganger shifts nervously, glancing around her at her allies. Okay, I'm listening. What kind of business are you on? I'm investigating the murder of the other elders. The gunfire with the HKPF might be related. Alright, we only moved in here because of all the Whampoans are too scared shit of monsters and ghosts to come back in. The elders told us it was alright if we moved in here. Seemed happy to have us camped out, honestly. Look around, knock yourself out, just stay out of the way of our business. So, obviously without that information you can't convince them to it. Otherwise you'd have to attack them or be attacked while you're walking in here. So if we check the bloody drain, dried blood and clots clog the drain. As you look closer, however, something catches your eye. A red color that doesn't match the hues of the gore around the drain. Bending closer, it appears to be a small nugget of some kind. Fish the item out. The nugget, upon closer inspection, is a chunk of some kind of synthetic ferroplastic. It's got ragged edges as if it was broken off of a larger object. A number of small markings are partially obscured by scratches. And if you have you can either examine them, or if you have the etiquette, you can decipher the emblems. Brushing away some of the dust, you peer at the fragmented bit of ferroplastic. The scratches and markings in the nugget seem vaguely familiar, and after a moment it strikes you. You're not seeing the entirety of the markings of the rest remain of the parent piece of ferrocrete. Where the scratches to be completed, they would read Renraku, Kangaku, Kanbushuiki, Gaisha. The Japanese name of Renraku Applied Sciences, the branch of Renraku Asia responsible for material sciences. So basically you get a piece of armor. That's what we're getting. And finally you can check out this. Dried blood and bullet holes pockmark the floor, pillars, and walls of the parking garage. Judging by the amount of blood staining the floor, multiple people died here. To call the scene bloody would be to do a disservice. This was a massacre of tremendous proportions. Look at this, Wiggles. Duncan points to several scratches on the floor and in the pillar. These scratches look like they're from a long-bladed weapon like a sword or machete. That matches the wound on Tong's neck. Our killer must have fought the HKPF here and cut them apart. With a number of bullet holes in the walls and cars around here, they must have been sprayed wildly. Duncan checks the chamber of his assault rifle. I'll tell you what, I don't want to have to fight this maniac at close range. So you get a little bit of information, you get the piece of weaponry and the knowledge that you use the sword. But since I don't want to fight these guys, I'm going to skip that. But I wanted to show what you learn if you do that. So, like I said, we should have enough pieces of information to do this without having to do it. If you want to kill him, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you just don't get anything from it. Well, okay, you don't get any items or karma from it because, like I said, you don't get karma from killing stuff in this game. So it's a nice change of pace. Usually RPGs would, anytime you kill something, you get experience. So sometimes it was in games where they tried to have you do the path of least resistance or the peaceful path. You wouldn't get the same rewards as like the evil path, where if you just kill everyone, you have a higher level by the end of the game. So, but anyway, let's talk to you again. Just skip through the dialogue. So, nope, skip. Okay. What happened in the fight here? Alright, storm drain. Alright, then see you later. Okay. Alright, so we're done with that. Alright, now we need to go find Porter Lamb or Rainbow and get that key from him. Alright, and actually before I go really quick, I'm actually going to go ahead and buy that stun fist for Duncan. The shot glove, I mean. So since I'm going to use Duncan quite a bit over the course of the game, so there you go. Yeah, not for me. 2 for me, none for you. And by the way, the storm drain thing is the spot we're supposed to go to for the actual ending of this thing. So you could actually skip straight to it if you want to get to the end of this as fast as possible. So, see. Hey, there's something new. Okay. What can you tell me about Elder Magpie? The Whampoan snorted, shrugging his shoulders. That she was a bitch? That I've never met anyone as deliberately contrary as her? There's not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie. Even though she was the newest elder, she acted high and mighty around everyone. She blocks deals and argues against Nakamura and NG because she could. Why would she show contrary? It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip. Any chance to cut someone else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people. Do you have the key to the storm drainage system? Sure, why do you ask? Drop a gun down or grate or something? I'm following up a lead on the killer. In that case, take the damn key. You have to forgive me if I don't want to go down there with you. Porter peels an antique Yale style key off of a key ring and hands it to you. Knock yourself out, man. There's an entrance up by the Jade Mountain restaurant. Can't miss it. See you later. Alright. But before we do that, let's go into the jack point and see that information there about Magpie. Alright, let's take a look at the things. Display case. This bin is full of assorted chips and peripherals and add-on modules for cyberdecks. They don't seem to be arranged in any coherent fashion and are spread across the felt surface. Search through the bin. You slip through the display case, searching for anything that might prove interesting. Unfortunately, the jumble of chips and hardware is too esoteric for you to make heads or tails of. Only a top-notch decker would be able to understand the use of the majority of this stuff. So, no information for us, since we're not deckers and we don't have Isabel with us, so... The front of the server's case hangs open, the inner machinery quiet and without power. A clipboard is stuck to the side by a piece of duct tape, and its paper is filled with a long list of programs and their prices. A quick glance over the program sheet reveals names like Bugs, 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 and Black Hammer. Undoubtedly, this was Magpie's attack program storage machine. A solitary red light blinks at the rear of the open server. Upon closer inspection, it looks like a Fuji XB1000 backup drive with its own isolated battery power, probably to safeguard the server data if this main supply failed. The XB1000 drives are constant write cheap, with tons of storage capacity, but if they lose power, they lose all of their data. Unfortunately, the isolated drive battery power is long since run out. Alright. Let's see. Ooh, search the bathroom. What naughtiness can be in there? You search Magpie's bathroom. There's not much in here. Toothbrush, toilet paper, some hairpins, a collection of cheap makeup. The combination of bath shower unit, however, has minor flakes of a dry, reddish substance near the drain. Blood. Dried blood. Prying open the drain cover, it looks like quite a bit of what shed was here. Shit, maybe Magpie didn't take a trip after all. With that amount of blood, I'm guessing someone killed her quietly and then drained her body in the bath. It'd make it cleaner to relocate. This doesn't seem to match the killer's other scenes, though. I'm thinking there was a lot more going on with these murders than we're initially told. First, they don't even mention Magpie to us, and now it looks like she's been killed. Something's not right here, Wiggles. Let's not mention this to elders. If they're hiding anything, they might start cleaning up their tracks better. Yeah, this was quite different. The other guy did it as a message. This was clearly hidden. No one wanted to know this happened. Magpie's desk is the kind of messy most people only associate with rat's nests, hoarders, and the deckers. The surface of the desk is littered with cigarette butts, half-finished cans of soy calf, and scraps of electronics. A towering pile of empty instant noodle bowls still sits next to it. Their sides are blazoned with honest wings, instant old-time Lamian, and depicts a line of top hat wearing caterpillar dancing with canes. Hey, awesome! I didn't think anyone but me liked honest wings noodles. Flavor like you never tasted a package of instant noodles, I promise. Gobbet taps the side of the one container. See, this one's cheese curry broccoli. I don't know why I never caught on, honestly. Sounds gross. Duncan shoots you a sidelong glance, mumbling a sotto voice. Gee, who would pass up the delicious taste of cheese curry and freeze-dried vegetables? Gobbet seems oblivious to Duncan's sarcasm. I know, right? People out here have no idea what kind of culinary delights they're missing. Search the desk. You gingerly root through the desk, doing your best to avoid the more disgusting piles and spills. It isn't easy. The desk drawers are stuffed to overflowing with receipts, cigarette packs, optical chips, and cables. Most of the contents are boring, useless, and disgusting. While searching one of the bottom drawers, however, a low-quality tin lockbox catches your eye. Someone has pried the latch off, leaving a ragged hole where a lock should be. The interior of the box has several sleeves for storing key cards, all of which are empty. A small note is taped to the interior of the box. Spare storeroom keys, the door and the rear of the Mrs. Yang's restaurant. Do not use these. Use only if not available to open the stockroom. Ah, the plot thickens. A secret lockbox with latch and lock torn out, and all the keys to Magpie's treasure trove missing. Who do you suppose stole them? Maybe it's one of the elders. They had the key for this place. I don't think so. The Whampoans are technologically adept, and that lockbox, maglock, was probably of the cheapest quality. It wouldn't present much difficulty for an elder. And why would they leave the lockbox here? They could have simply taken it with them to work on it at their leisure. Leave the desk alone. Interesting. Let's see. The front of the server's case hangs open. The inner machinery quiet and without power. A clipboard is stuck to the side of a piece of duct tape. Its paper is filled with a long list of programs and their prices. A quick glance. Oh wait, we already read this before. Never mind. I don't know why I clicked that again. All right. Well, anyway. Yeah. Let's see. Nope. Or check the bin. Whoops. All right. What's our information going on here? So. Yeah, we can't do the parking lot or garage thing, so there we go. Just making sure I got everything before I head out. Let me talk about something. Let's see. I think I'm double checking just to make sure I didn't miss anything on the way here. Let's see. Got you. Because sometimes some people have some extra info if you double talk with them again after learning some new information. So, all right. Let's see. No, you're good. Let's see. Nope, good there. Okay, and I'm gonna talk to the elders one more time before I go in, because this is when we set up the final find the last bit of information before okay. Before we solve this mystery. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward when you think about it, but not all mysteries need to be super deep and okay. He has nothing there. Oh, I guess I could have read his dialogue when you double check with him again. Demergo's gotten himself a new cup of soy calf. He must run on that stuff. As you approach, he lifts it and salutes. Hey again, any new developments you need my help with? Nope, see you later. Alright. And then let's check back with the Whampoan again, just to verify some stuff before we go on. Okay, he's good. Like sometimes, even though I'm vaguely aware of what I need to do, sometimes I'll forget like little details. So I, just double checking my notes and everything. So let's see. Nope, nothing can help because I already got the key from one dude. I don't think she has anything either. Nope. All right. The elders. Let's see. Why'd you let the HKPF into Whampoa Garden last month? Tang is taken aback by the question. For a long moment, he says nothing. When his composure does return, he speaks deliberately and with great care. We generally don't let the police into Whampoa Garden. It's true, but in this case, we made an exception. The police here were very polite and offered to look the other way while some of our deals with the Loho Joha pirates. They also made it clear that if we refused, they might not take an interest in our deals with the pirates. They would call in their special duties unit and force their way in. We have repelled the Hong Kong police force before when they tried to push us around. We could probably drive out the special duties unit as well, but the cost and blow would be too high. Andrew shrugs noncommittally. Since they weren't hurting Whampoa, we saw no reason to refuse their request. So what were they here for? They didn't say, and we didn't ask. The HKPF isn't exactly forthcoming about their business, and we found the less we know about their interests, the safer Whampoa Garden is. When you take an interest in the police, they return the favor. As far as I know, they went into the parking garden. There was a gunfight, and the police never came out. More showed up a few hours later, looking for the missing officers. We didn't let those in, though. We just delivered what was left of the bodies to them. Why didn't you let them in? We were willing to allow the group of 4 in because they asked politely. When the reinforcements arrived, there were over 30 of them. We couldn't risk the rest of the police setting up camp in our streets. It would have been a circus and disrupted our lives and business. Now we go. All right. So more information from them. Interesting. But anyway, let's head on to the storm drain. And get this last little bit of information. The last little section. Yeah, this mission's pretty straightforward and isolated, so it's just gathering as much information as you can, basically. So there's the storm drain right there. And, ooh, what's this? A body part? The disgusting pile of stinking human remains smells strongly of blood in the first stages of decay. The arms, legs, and organs are heaped together like stacked firewood, leaking blood and gore across the floor. The parts contained therein appear to have been sliced away from the parent body rather than torn or bitten. Judging by the clean edges of the cuts, the blade used to sever these parts was extremely sharp. I've seen plenty of disgusting stuff in my day, but this tastes the cake. Look at it! Somebody stacked these parts up like they're making a little larder or something. Hello, serial killer. Got that right. Jesus. Looking closer at the pile, one part stands out. It's a severed forearm, and it's covered in tattoos, words in a Slavic language, and a shining lighthouse adorn the forearm, and ring-like images are inked on each finger. On the back of the hand, there's a skull inside a square. This arm belonged to a Vor. These are criminal tattoos. The lighthouse shows he tried to escape from prison or planned to. The words say, all police are dogs. That skull inside the square means he served a prison term for robbery once. What's a Vor? A Vor is a thief. The Vor Vizakon is the name of the organization. Thieves in the law. They have strict codes and beliefs of their own. They don't sever arms and leave them in the pile of gore. Yeah, but they don't do that. No, I guess not. There's the storm drain. Despite the darkness, you see something glittering at the edge of the drain. Looking closer, it appears to be a necklace chain of some kind. It's becoming caught in the drain's grate, narrowly avoiding falling down deep into the pit. Take the necklace. Lifting the necklace out of the drain, you turn it over in your hand. It's a simple silver pendant on a chain. The silver pendant depicts a long-tailed bird in flight, a magpie. Perhaps a magpie's necklace. Let's keep looking. But what else is around here? What else? What the? As you round the corner, you hear voices speaking just loudly enough for you to make out coherent sentences. The speakers are definitely not local. They speak with a slight Slavic accent, and their clothing is heavily armored. Around them are a number of crates and boxes, all mostly filled. It looks like the group is packing up. And it looks like we got a new couple people added to the to this. Yaroslav says the boat will be ready tomorrow morning. He's gotten everything arranged with the port authority. We need the goods to be you need to move the goods to his warehouse. He's handled loading them onto the ship, and we can get paid right then and there. The orc spits on the ground. I'll be glad to be done with this filthy place. Well, all right. I will too. I hate having to hide in these damn drains. It stinks down here. I can hear the devil rats running down that walkways. It's a mess and it's disgraceful, and we shouldn't have to put up with this bullshit. And Alexandra still isn't back from his little trip. We'll have to leave him behind if he doesn't get back soon. I know, Galena. Until Audrey says we're in the clear from the triads, we can't be seen with the goods on the street. They'll find us. We go back to Vladivostok and sausage casings. These red dragons, Mudaki, don't screw around, and when it comes to protecting their turf, who knows? Maybe Alexander was stupid and they caught him. Either way, we'll have to lug this crap through the drains for a few clicks. The orc woman sniffs the air suspiciously, and her eyes darts toward the dark tunnels you stand in. Before you have a chance to get out of sight, she locks eyes with you. I like how the models just like swap to you. It's just like, whoop. You're like, okay. Okay, well anyway, sorry, I was taking a look at my notes here just to make sure I've got everything. Because this is another one of those, one of those fights, or one of those sections you can actually get into fight or not, depending on your dialogue choices. So, the orc lifts her chin as she regards you, cracking her knuckles. What have we here? A curious little pest come looking for things that don't concern me. What do we do with pests, Galena? Galena puts a hand on her shotgun barrel. We break them, Vasilisa. Vasilisa. Yeah, Vasilisa. And when we hammer a spike through each of their throats, so anyone who sees their bodies knows not to meddle with our affairs. I suggest you stay where you are, pest. I'm not here to meddle in anything. I'm just looking for a serial killer. Well, you found some, friend. Us. You think you can just walk out of here after finding us? Think again. So you have a couple options. So if you say hope and goodwill, a fight starts. No matter what you do. So so if you say because I know what happened to Alexander because of what Ractor told us, that helps as well. If you have etiquette gang, you could say Audrey is obviously the vor here. You're just enforcers and he doesn't want a scene while you're in Whampoa Gardens. Or if you have academic, you could say, look around you. These storm drains act like resonance chambers. The exits on the streets will be like the mouth of a trumpet. They'll care if they hear gunfire on their turf. Galena laughs. You think I'm stupid? You think you can fast talk me with some stupid? He's right, Galena. You know how sounds can echo through these tunnels. Shit. Galena lowers her shotgun, though her posture remains wary. You don't care about what we're doing? I have a job to do. This is incidental. So what do you want from us then? You took the Magpie's key cards, didn't you? Yes, we did. Alexander took one earlier. He said he wanted to sweep the stockroom, so if there was anything worth stealing in it... Vasilisa tosses you a key card. Here, we don't have time for this. We have to move this gear, and you want to play detective? Go right ahead. Alright. Anything else you can tell me? Vasilisa grunts by the way of greeting. You can what now? Is there anything else you can tell me about the murders that I might not know? You think we got out a bit? I wouldn't even have known there were murders if I hadn't bothered to come out to get some soy calf last week. It's none of your business and isn't our problem, and I like it that way. Alright, see you later. This one can be kind of tough just because of where you are and the grounds of everything, and most times they'll get a free shot at you after everything that's going on, so that one can be kind of annoying. But for the most part, alright. Let's see. Alright. Yeah, I can't do that. Okay. Yeah, let's go back to our stock room again. Since we have the keys from, or the store key from, I like how some other maps are tied into there. Look at that. And let's see. Okay, I guess that counts as checking it, I guess so. Alright. Okay, let's see. And yeah, see, there's the garage right there. Yeah, sometimes the way to save on load times is that they just put all the maps in one area and just make it to where certain areas are highlighted. It's pretty funny, actually, when you think about it, so. Alright. Okay. Okay, we got everything good to go, so now we get to Magpie's stockroom. So this is probably a place, if anything, I'd probably say make a save here, just because of certain decisions and stuff like that. Not a big deal, but I would go ahead and do a heavy save here. So, all right, stockroom, here we go. Alright. See what's inside. Ooh, food. Despite the table's crude construction, an artfully laid meal waits the owner. Several small dishes are filled with pickled vegetables, while a larger plate is arranged with long slices of raw meat. The meat is a pale, dark pinkish white, like raw pork, and is covered in a light soy marinade. Poking at the raw meat, you discover that it's surprisingly tender. What's more, it has the faint aroma of marinade, as if deliberately prepared. You know, if you've been paying attention to some of the clues in the game, you probably don't want to eat this food, but weirdly enough, there's actually an achievement for eating this stuff. So this is why you might want to save it beforehand if you don't want to have your character eat this. I'm going to eat it anyway, but just to let you know. Eat some. The flesh is a little tougher than you would expect, but surprisingly flavorful. There's no bitterness or gristle to it. In a few moments, you finish a small piece, and it leaves only the barest hint of an aftertaste in your mouth. Gubbet watches you eat, and her mouth slowly falling open. All right, Wiggles, I know I love food, but you take it to a whole new level. I mean, we walked in a basement stockroom, which is obviously handled by somebody. What's the first thing you do? Steal their dinner. That's just cold. I mainly did so Gubbet would respond to you to doing that. So. This box is packed full of odds and ends. It nearly overflows with a collection of knickknacks, souvenirs, and assorted personal effects. There is no rhyme or reason to the collection of items. They appear to have been thrown in haphazardly. Among the contents are charms from various temples, a wooden mask, and a paper fan. Examine the mask. The wooden mask is extremely light. It's been painted with pale white, and the surface is almost as smooth as porcelain. Delicate features and lifted eyebrows are matched with bright red lips and delicately carved teeth. The teeth have been stained a deep black. Examine the charms. The small charms are squared cloth packets, each approximately 1 inch wide and 3 inches tall. They come in a variety of bright colors and are embroidered with characters for prosperity, peace, wealth, and protection. Inside, each appears to be a folded paper prayer or fortune, written in Japanese. Got a weeb over here. Examine the paper fan. Unfolding the fan, you tilt it up towards the light to examine it. The image depicts an East Asian city from the 19th century or earlier. Curved roofs at sunset, beside a deep blue river. 2 ships sail down the river, which is in turn spanned by a long wooden bridge. In the foreground, laborers carry buckets along the shore as a man on horseback rides in the opposite directions. In the distance, a pair of large red buildings dominate the city's skylines. 1 large temple hall and 5-tier pagoda. Leave the box alone. As you step away from the box, you hear a slight click in the distance, the sound of the door latch shutting. You're no longer alone in the stockroom. Dun dun dun! Alright, who's this? What the? It's a samurai. An actual samurai. Well, at least he dresses like one. We found our weeb. Standing before you is a man clad in heavy armor and bearing a katana on his hips. His skin is an ashen gray, his eyes dead white. His teeth are jagged and clear, quite sharp. This is no man. This is a ghoul! The ghoul's blind eyes search back and forth as it regards you. It cannot see you, but it has a sense that it knows exactly where you're at times. Ah, a hired gun. No doubt brought to bear against me by Whampoan elders, a means by which they can lift the curse plaguing them. I salute your tenacity, but I wonder, will you hear me out before raising your weapon to kill me? So, yeah, this is you probably have a pretty good idea who the killer is from this look and his weapon and everything like that. But, like all mysteries, there's not an obvious... Well, there is an obvious solution, but you have to... Well, not... You know what I mean, like, you know, it's obvious that it's not obvious, you know, that type of thing. You're a ghoul and you're talking. Yes, I am not only talking, I am reasoning as well, and since you have not attempted to kill me, your higher faculties are engaged. I am a curiosity to you. The ghoul bares his teeth, bearing breath rasping over them as he exhales. You wish to know who, not only what I am, but what I have done. As for who, you may call me Gaichu. I know who you are. You're the one killing the Whampoan elders. You are correct. I have killed all of the Whampoan elders to date, though only Elder Magpie was according to my initial plan. I have only killed all of the Whampoan elders to date, though only Elder Magpie was according to my initial plan. I regret the deaths of the other elders, but it was necessary. What does Gaichu mean? Harmful insect. It's the name I have taken for myself, since the word is usually applied to pests, especially ones who drink blood, such as leeches and mosquitoes. The first character means injury or evil influence. The second means insect or worm. This affair began simple enough. As you may surmise, I am not someone who can be seen in public without great risk. Whampoa Garden is an excellent place to hide. no police or triad presence, and minimal interest in things that lurk in the shadows. Unfortunately for me, Elder NG discovered me through communion with her spirits. Rather than kill or chase me away, she came to me with a proposition. NG and the other elders were having problems with one of their numbers. An elder named Magpie had been holding many of their clients hostage and would not budge. They would not remove Magpie, however, because her services were too useful to the Whampoans at large. NG offered me payment to dispose of Magpie, and I accepted. Wu shoots you a sidelong glance, tusks bared as he grits his jaw. Why the hell are we talking to this thing, Wiggles? It's a goddamn ghoul, and you know what they're like. Really, what, pray tell, am I like? All teeth and claws and bad manners, I expect? Gaichu's tone is amused, despite the harshness of his rasping voice. Really, you want to crack jokes, you cannibal? Wu takes an involuntary step forward, raising his rifle. You're the kind of monster that devour a family just because it's convenient. Remember the 162s, Wiggle? He's just like them. The 162s were a gang, Wu, in the Barrens. Like, that makes a bit of a difference. Go on then, talk to the monster, but I'm keeping my finger on the goddamn trigger. That's always smart, really, when you think about it. I believe that we are speaking of the Elder's plan to have me kill Magpie. Surely you must be a little curious about that. You didn't clean up all of her blood. I found some in her drain. Unfortunately, I had thought I was careful enough. Having it on my hands and must have obscured my sense of smell enough that I missed the last remnants of the drain. I disposed of Magpie's body by emptying the blood in her bathroom. Then I cut her up into more portable pieces. Those were placed in a plastic top, which I took to the storm drains and hid. Gaichu nonchalantly waves a hand, his tone flat and unconcerned. It's unfortunate, but my survival depends upon consumption of raw metahuman flesh. Letting such nourishment go to waste would be a foolish error. Yeah, and basically ghoulism is like is basically a virus that causes people to basically eat flesh. So that's why they call them cannibals and stuff like that. I don't think it says metahuman, so it means he has to eat like elves, humans, trolls, orcs, stuff like that. So, but why kill the other elders then? Oh, by the way, you can just straight up attack him at any time, and that's a way to solve this: is just kill Gaichu, get your reward, and leave. You actually get the least amount of money for just straight up killing Gaichu and leaving. So keep that in mind too if you're curious. And there's another benefit to not killing him instantly, but we'll find out about that later. Why kill the other elders then? I contacted the elders, not in person, of course, and since they arranged to exchange payment, I assumed that since the job was done, Inji would be a woman of her word. Baring his teeth, Gaichu hisses his next words across clenched teeth. I was mistaken. I arrived at the nearby parking garage the elders had told me about. They cleared out the other Whampoans under some pretense, though I'm not sure what ruse they used. The elders never showed up. Instead, several members of the Hong Kong police force arrived. They were more heavily armed than usual, so I suspect they knew something of my nature. Yeah, remember when we talked to them about that, sending those people in, and why they didn't send the 30 plus in? It's because they wanted to send those people in, probably paid them off or whatever, to kill Gaichu, and then, or told them about Gaichu, like there was a ghoul there and sent them there to kill him. Maybe the police didn't know officially what they were doing, but yeah, he basically killed them. I heard about the fight. You expect me to believe you took on a police squad and won? Of course, I've survived as a ghoul for some years now, on the streets of Hong Kong. If that isn't enough evidence of my tenacity, I doubt any words I could say to you would change your mind. A betrayal of that sort cannot stand. Not only was I not paid for my time and effort, the Whampoan elders treated me like a common animal, and I am so much more than that. Reputation is everything, and I had none. I had hoped to build a network of contacts, so that I would be able to continue finding work, but with that treachery, my hopes were dashed. I decided to become the monster that they feared. One by one, I have eliminated them. They know how to contact me, and could have ended the nightmare at any time by making amends. I would have asked for more money, but I would have ceased my hunt, yet they did not. Instead, they contacted you, no doubt asking you to eliminate me where the police had failed. So I ask you what now? What will you do? Will you attempt to fish out what the opponent started, finish what the opponent started, or will you treat me with the same humanity I've shown you? Let me ask you some questions. Very well, what would you like to know? Did you eat the elders? Some of them, not all. My condition requires that I consume raw metahuman flesh. I do not require a great deal to survive, perhaps 3 to 4 pounds per week. Consequently, that is vastly more supply than I demand. Why would the elders have killed you instead of paying you? Any number of reasons. They are notorious cheapskates and will always try to save money when dealing with outsiders. It could be the natural inclination towards profit. They may regard me as subhuman and therefore unworthy of respect. It could be they felt I was too dangerous to allow to live. It could even be that they simply did not like me. The net result is the same, however. They reneged on a deal we brokered and attempted to have me killed. A message must be sent. Blood must be paid, as they have hired you to kill me, and they have obviously not learned their lesson. If I let you leave, what will you do? Kill the rest of the elders and anyone who would send to exterminate me. It is a matter of survival. Should I ever have the opportunity to work freelance again, potential employers need to understand the price of betrayal. These murders are my curriculum vitae and revenge. I made my decision. Oh, what will you do? How will the story end? By the way, if you fight Gaichu, it's really easy to kill him because, you know, it's, what, in this case, 5-on-1. So yeah, he goes down pretty easily, so. Alright, but we're not going to kill him. Come and work with me. I can be your face. A curious offer. And what did the elders? Will you allow me the satisfaction of killing them? I want to see what they have to say first. This is another way to finish the fight. You could actually get Gaichu and then just kill the elders and finish the mission. You'll get your own rewards for that. But no, we're going to do this the most efficient way. So I want to see what they have to say first. I would consider you not to believe their words, but you have the sound of one who is wary as a matter of course. Very well. Let us wait until a bit later the night. Most pedestrians will be off the street, and it will be easier for us to approach the Whampoa without being noticed. Sounds like a good plan. Alright. Now let's go meet the Whampoans now that everyone's in bed. Even though this whole world seems like a place that just doesn't sleep, but, you know. But yeah, we've convinced Gaichu to actually join us now, so. Yeah, that's one of the benefits of not killing them is you can get them on your team. So, all right, let's talk to the elder and see if we can convince him of what's going on. As you approach, Elder Ingi's wise-eyed. Her mouth falls open and the veins on her neck bulge. What are you doing? You brought this thing into our home. Quick, kill it before it kills us. Porter hefts his pistol warily, but does not aim at anyone. Yeah, I have to say, this isn't a good idea. Why the hell is a ghoul in here? Why is it wearing armor? Come, Yusas, I am not an it, and your elders know this intimately. Gaichu bares his teeth in a rictus grin as he turns to face NG. Good evening, Elder NG. I can smell your fear, and I'm glad of this. It means you're learning the price of betrayal. Whoa, what the hell's going on here? Can someone explain to me what's going on, what the ghoul's talking about? Yeah, you know what, let's just kill him, Gaichu. Yeah, you can just do it at any time, so. The elders have been lying to the rest of the Whampoans. We would never lie to the Whampoans. Our role is to protect the community and not to lie to it. What proof do you have to back up your claims? Porter nods at the elders, looking back to you with wary expression. I'm interested to hear what kind of evidence you have to support this theory, Wiggles. As far as I can tell, this monster killed Tong and the others, and that makes him a threat that should be eliminated. The elders hired Gaichu to kill Elder Magpie and make it look like she disappeared. You believe this vermin? This creature that feasts on metahuman flesh, that kills and dismembers our tribesmen? You are a naive and foolish man, if that's the case. NG spits on the ground in front of Gaichu. What proof do you have that Magpie is dead? NG, please. In matters where the elder is accused of breaking our law, the other elders generally judge them. In matters where all of them have been accused, I am authorized to act as a judge. Make your case, Shadowrunner. I found Magpie's necklace in the storm drains. Porter takes a moment to examine the necklace. He nods at you. This is definitely Elder Magpie's. If you found it in the storm drain, that's suspicious, but hardly proof on its own. Of course it's not proof. The number of things lost down in the storm drains in Hong Kong must number in the tens of thousands per year, while unusual is hardly evidence of foul play. There was a large amount of blood in her shower drain. So what? Perhaps she cut herself and washed the blood off, or perhaps you're mistaken about it being blood. You're simply guessing as to what happened. That's true, it's a guess, and even if it's her blood, that doesn't prove that elders hired the school to kill her. Porter gives Elder LP a sidelong glance. Elders have always protected Whampoa according to the best of their ability. She hasn't been seen in a month, and not by anyone. She wouldn't just disappear like that. That may be unlikely, but it's hardly impossible. You haven't established that the elders were involved, and all you've done is make suppositions about it. What proof do you have that we hired and betrayed this creature? I won't sit by and listen to this idle accusations without any kind of concrete evidence to back it up. What about the fight with the Hong Kong police force? Well, what do you mean? What does that have to do with elders and the ghoul? You Whampoans don't allow police inside the area. Why make an exception this time? The police were polite and asked our permission to enter. They were hunting a non-Whampoan, and that was reason enough to allow them to in. Porter considers this for a moment, then shakes his head. That doesn't add up, NG. Why would the police ask us for entry now? They've never been polite before, and they've just always tried to force their way in here. It just doesn't ring true to me. Did you ask them to come in order to hunt down the school? Preposterous, Porter. You know what our community is like. We wouldn't lie over something like this. This ghoul has been lying the entire time, trying to cover his tracks. He's still brutally murdering several elders. That's true. These murders are vicious and cruel. Porter fixes you with a hard stare. I don't see any way to explain that away. This ghoul is a monster for how he killed Tong and the others. Tong's body was a mess, but he died quickly from a sword blow to the back of the neck. I struck Tong down with a single blow from my sword. The mess made of the body was to send the elders a message, but had no desire to make Tong suffer. At any time, NG and the other elders could have made amends, and the killings would have ended. Instead, they hired a Shadowrunner to kill me. I am not about cruelty. It's about sending a message. That's not what I would have expected looking at the body. You killed him before you dismembered him? That's right. I killed the other elders in a similar fashion. There was no cause to prolong their suffering. The message was for the living elders, not the dead. If the elders wished to treat me like a monster, I would terrorize them like the one until they paid reparations for their mistake. Come on, you can't possibly believe this crazy story. It's absolutely insane. Tong wasn't tortured. There was no astral residue of pain or fear. He didn't even feel the blow. That's correct. I struck a single blow while his back was to me. His death was instant. Regrettable that he had to die for your folly, NG, but necessary to protect my reputation. NG glares at Gaichu in stony silence before addressing Porter. You cannot believe what these people say. They are not to be trusted, and even if this is true, he still killed Tong. Porter looks back at NG, expression flat and without emotion. Maybe so, NG, but a monster would not take Tong's suffering into account. He may be a killer, but he's not heartless. The scene of Tong's murder, like the others, was a deliberate sham. It was made to look more horrific than it was. I believe you. The smell, the blood smeared on the walls, the removal of the skin, that's a scene designed to evoke horror, not the scene of an actual fight. Elders, what do you have to say in response? This is a farce. We have dedicated ourselves to protecting Whampoa tribe and everyone who lives in Whampoa Garden. Do you really believe outsiders and monsters over our word? We who have tried to end the killings? You have been duped, Porter. You and his Shadowrunner. I concur. Porter, you know me. You know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't be party to the killing of another elder. I can't believe we've been even entertaining this notion that we have to defend ourselves. We should be disposing of this ghoul instead. Tane narrows his eyes at you, hissing. If you think I'll forget this, you're sorely mistaken. I will not tolerate this kind of insult. The elders were all too happy to have the red spears move into the garage, and almost like they wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away. That's right, LP. You even told me not to go find out what happened with the fight. You said the Red Spear gangs were moving in and to leave them alone. Why would you tell me not to look into it? I was only trying to protect you from the Red Spears. They're dangerous, which is why I want to deal with them directly. Magpie's gear was missing, obviously missing. Why didn't LP tell me that? He would have had to have noticed and Magpie's shop is locked up. Why didn't he want me to investigate? Pure supposition. You think it proves something that I didn't notice equipment was missing? Magpie's shop is always a horrible mess. Tang, you did a full inventory of Magpie's matrix senses. You assured us everything was running fine and you would be able to continue your work. I find it hard to believe you missed something as obvious as missing equipment, especially while searching your stock. Also, you can bring up the let me look at my notes for like what you can actually give them in terms of information. Let's see, you can find a necklace in the storm drain, blood in the shower, Magpie's disappearance, victim died quickly due to Ractor, no torture from Gobbet or a magic user. Deliberately more horrific murder scene from Duncan. Red Spears moved into the garage. Magpie's gear was missing. And then if you have the Gaichu ambushed, which is an armor, which you can get by going into the garage, you can get that little bit of information, but that one's optional. Everything else is required to solve this case and give you enough information to work in your favor if we did everything right. That's all I've got. All right, I think I have some idea what's going on here. And what do you believe the real story is? Gaichu seems to be telling the truth. Elders, too many facts don't add up. You are obviously hiding something, possibly a great deal from the rest of the tribe. I'm sorry, but I have to take you into custody until the community can decide the extent and manner of your punishment. Death would seem appropriate to me, especially given that they kept the charade even to you, one of the most trusted citizens. Don't you dare talk to me like that, you disgusting beast. LP begins to raise his weapon. Porter reaches out to stop him. LP reluctantly stops. LP, no. We don't make this any worse than it is. Porter turns to face you. Thank you, Wiggles. I'll make certain that justice is meted out. You're free to go, and I will ensure payment is delivered to you, so long as you take Gaichu with you. I can't have him staying here. Alright. And I don't think there's anything... I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. Let's see. I'm trying to remember, and I think the fight is nothing too crazy too, especially with all your characters. And the game basically tells you what everyone does. So if you're worried about everything, so. But yeah, you can say they're gonna be paying for what they did, but really nothing's really gonna come of it. At least not from us anyway. So he'll be coming with me. And that's it. That's the best solution to this is convincing Porter to put the elders on arrest, and we take Gaichu with us back to base, basically. As you exit the Whampoa into the sweltering night air of Koblenz streets, Gaichu turns to face you. I confess, I am unhappy with the decision to allow the Whampoan elders to live. We should have killed them, if not for reasons than to maintain our reputation. That's why I let them live. That's not how we do things. Gaichu bows to you, head held very low. I can't accept this. I'm unused to working with Shadowrunners, and I assumed you would see things as I do. Hopefully there's much I can learn from you. Shall we leave this place? I am eager to be done with Whampoa Garden. We get 2 karma for this ending specifically, so nice. Yeah, this is why, even though Isabel can give you some information from this, she's actually completely optional for bringing here. That's why I didn't bring her. I brought Rector because of his biotech knowledge. Unless you have biotech of 3, then you don't have to bring Rector, but I don't have biotech of 3, so. Same with Gobbit. Since I was an Astral Mage, technically I could have gotten that information, so you didn't have to bring her. So, but, you know. And I didn't show off the armor piece, but that wasn't a big deal. So the MTR rockets noiselessly towards Hawaii along the edge of the Kowloon Bay. The black waters glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflecting storefronts. Gaichu stares silently out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The plot by the elders is exposed, and Porter Lamb is in your debt. You have a new ally and the respect of Whampoans. Sometimes everything goes right on a job. You can count yourself lucky. This is one of those times. Yeah, one of the few missions where there's no fights, period, if you do things right. So I like the fact that there can be some missions with no fighting. Even though I like fighting, I just like the fact that there's a possibility. If you like interesting story or side missions like that, you should play Planescape Torment. That's a whole game that can be played without any combat or avoiding all fights. But anyway, we get 8 karma for just doing the mission in general. So not a bad haul. So we solved the Whampoan murders, and yeah, technically Gaichu did commit the murders, but it's more like he's the accessory to the actual murder. You know, he's the gun kind of situation there. So with that, we've got Gaichu on our team. But what has changed in Hawaii since we've gone? What does Gaichu has to say now that he's on our team? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.